I hope you heard that. With this gong, I would like to welcome all of you on this very special day. It is our 5,597th meeting of the Rotary Club of Chicago. For those who are visiting us for the first time, you would like to know that our first meeting took place in 1905. So, welcome everybody. And I am delighted to see so many of you here in person. There are some faces we haven't seen in a long time, and there are many of you present on Zoom. So I greet everybody, and I thank Connor Gee, who is on Zoom, welcoming our guests. So Connor, thank you so much for playing that role today. I'm really grateful.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
So, well, as you know, today is our annual meeting, and you are going to learn a lot about what every committee is doing. So I would like to say a few things before we get started. Here we go. So, believe it or not, just like that, we have arrived to the end of the first half of the Rotary year. It goes quickly, yes. Back in July, when this year started, there was a glimmer of hope that life was going to return to what some of us remember as normal. Well, we had vaccines. We were getting vaccinated. We were able to have appointments for our vaccines. So we were very excited. We felt confident to gather in person and began to think that there was light at the end of this very long and cruel COVID ordeal. Looking back, how fortunate we were to enjoy an installation with what is considered today a huge attendance in person. Well, today we keep making progress on the Greek alphabet, but we're also making progress in our club. Our members are raising to new heights. And I would like to mention here Connor Gee, our past president, who is our district governor nominee and also chair of the district membership committee. I would also like to share Cheryl McIntyre, who is also a past president, and she is the chair of the Paul and Jean Harris Home Foundation and has been instrumental in making great strides in leading the renovation of the home, where the interior, if you have been there, is almost finished and already furnished. And they are working now on raising funds for the landscaping of the property. Meetings and events, as you may know, are already taking place at the Paul Harris home. Alita is the district chair of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee for our district. And Marshall is the district chair of the Vocational Committee. So, I am so delighted to see that the experience in Rotary is growing beyond the confines of our club. So ask them how they did it, and if you want to get more involved in things, they can show you the way. Well, but here among us in our club, I would like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to the board of directors for their dedication and participation in the affairs of the club. The chairs of the different committees, Laura in membership, Sarah and West in the Community Services Committee, Betsy, Seda, and Steph in the International Services Committee, Nita and Mark in Marketing and Public Relations, and Alita again for her dedication and perseverance and passion for the JobOne program. And I would be remiss if I don't mention David Hirsch and Don Garner, who provide a steady flow of brilliant speakers. Thank you for your leadership, for your support, and for being the multiple voices who speak for our club. Eric, thank you again for overseeing this year the strategic plan that you so brilliantly created, and also for chairing the nominating committee. Timo and Alita, thank you for being there, ready to help when I needed you. The chairs later on of the committee will be providing you with details of what has been accomplished so far this year. And I would like to especially thank Karen, Tamara, Shelby, and Ed, our wonderful administrators. You are creative, you think ahead, you have excellent suggestions and flexibility, and I just get such a kick of working with you. I mean, I consider myself very, very lucky. So, Ed, who is not here, but he may be listening on the phone, thank you so much for bringing us back to the roots of meeting at businesses location of our members and rotating from one meeting to the next one to a different business location. So this was just brilliant. It's one of those things how come someone didn't think about it earlier? But there is this new energy that is bubbling in the club, and it is reflected in the steady stream of new members we're having every month or every couple of months. So you are in for a treat here. Okay, so yes, this holiday season continues to be a season of Thanksgiving. We are healthy. We can gather here both in person and on Zoom, and we keep marching on. We have remarkable speakers lined up in the months ahead. And there is one event, as you know, that I am very much looking forward, and that is our fundraising event to celebrate Rotary's birthday on February 17th of next year. Together with the Consulate of Argentina, we will showcase our club with a wine tasting event at the beautiful offices of Baker & McKenzie on the 50th floor of the Blue Cross Blue Shield building, overlooking Grant Park. The location is breathtakingly beautiful during the day and at night as well. We're counting with you to invite your non-Rotary friends, because we will all be there. So to share with them what your Rotary Club of Chicago is about and invite them to spend with us a fabulous evening. I am also grateful to our regular visitors from Australia, Argentina, Nigeria, and India, and many other countries who participate in our Zoom meetings. You enrich our club experience, and I hope we enrich your experience as a Rotarian. And we do hope seriously to see you one day in person. There is a lot to be grateful, but now I will let our next presenter, Matthias, to share with you the Treasurer's report. Matthias, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Warm welcome from my side. I would love to be there today in person. Unfortunately, I have to travel this afternoon, so I couldn't make it. But I'm happy to give you a kind of a brief overview where we are from the financial perspective right now. I mean, overall, I would say we are not in a perfect situation, but we are in an okay situation right now. Good news is, from a cash flow perspective, I think our club is very stable. We are in a good position. We have some receivables outstanding. This is mainly membership dues. Here are some overdue membership dues. You would all do us a big favor if you guys pay your membership dues in a timely manner. That would make our things easier and would look better on the balance sheet. From a liability perspective, I think our club is pretty healthy. We really don't have any major liabilities currently. From an income perspective, obviously our main income stream are our membership dues. This is obviously, I think, also the area where the more we can improve our membership, the better is our financial situation. So I really encourage everybody to kind of see if we can find new members for our club, which obviously would help us from a financial perspective. Our main expenses currently are actually our administrative expenses. Also here, a big thank you to Ed and Karen and Tamara, to the whole team, which are supporting us also here on the financial side very, very well. We don't have too many other expenses currently. I mean, because our in-person meetings are obviously limited to compare to what it was in the past. So that brings us at the end of the day. I would say we are looking right now at the first 6 months, we will probably end up at I would call it a black zero, and I hope this is what we can maintain also until the year end. So our year end is obviously middle of June. But as I said earlier, I think what would be great if we can work on getting new members to our club, which would improve our income stream quite significantly and put us in an even better position. Marga, I guess that should be a brief overview. If anyone has questions, just let me know.
Matthias, thank you very much. And well, you keep us on track. Our next speaker is going to be Eric, who will give us the latest on our strategic plan, which means our strategic plan update. Eric.
Thank you, Marga. The other strategic advantage of wearing masks is that nobody gets to see me chewing as I come up from lunch. Okay, there we go. So let's go to the next slide. I'll try to make this fast. You may remember that we did a survey back over the summer, and that's something that I briefed the board on, but it did occur to me that I had not presented those results to the membership. Next slide, please. So it seems like a good place to start with the results of that survey. One of the good things about the survey is we did a survey before we started the strategic plan. So by doing a survey every year, as it dictates in the plan, we're able to track progress over time. Next slide, please. And let's go one more. If you're anything like me, you like graphs. So I'm going to show you some. So this question is always a good one. So we started the question back in 2019 with why did you join and why did you stay with Rotary? We asked the question again last summer, and it's interesting to look at the results. The top line in yellow is the latest results. And so what kept people in during the pandemic was our local service projects, which we kept hitting the pavement with, as well as the weekly meetings and programming. I guess it's not surprising that fellowship and networking were a little bit low because that's a little bit harder to do over Zoom. So if you really were looking forward to that, I guess you weren't really going to find much of an outlet for that anywhere. Next slide, please. In terms of value for money, you can see pretty consistent, but a little bit of an uptick between 2019 and 2021. So I'm happy to hear that our members feel like they're getting value for their membership. Next slide. And let's go one more. So in terms of outreach and communications, that's an area where we put in a lot of effort over the last year and a half. So we asked again the question, how do you learn about what's going on in the club? The red line on top is the latest information. So the two things that stand out to me are, first of all, that the gyrator is now a greater source of information for a lot of folks. And you'll see that in a moment too, why that may be. But if you look at the second line, you also see social media. And you notice there's no blue line. That's because we didn't really have any noticeable social media presence before about a year and a half ago, at least not one that was going to be used to inform you about what's going on with the club. So that's big progress there. Next slide. So we did update the gyrator. So thanks to Shelby and all the folks at CAM, Marga, our PR and marketing committee, it looks much sleeker than before, and people noticed and they like it. Next slide, please. One of the other key things out of the strategic plan was, do you know all of the service projects that we're doing? We need to be telling people internally and externally all of the amazing service projects that we do. And so the question was, are you more aware of the service that we're doing? Because a lot of people said they didn't know. And that's fair. I don't think that I generally knew year to year all of the amazing things that we had going on. And so you can see 5 means basically the highest. So people generally are more aware. And if you go to the next question, I am by the next one. I am most proud of writing this question for the survey. So basically I said, which of these service projects are you aware of? Which have you heard of? Two of the projects were completely made up. And I was really curious to see how people would respond. And I think it was actually pretty good, right? Because only a few people indicated the neighborhood garden and water for Costa Rica, but generally people recognized and they picked out the proper projects. So well done, well done. Let's go to the next slide. Oh, there will be. Don't you worry. Let's skip through the next couple slides here. Next slide. So these were suggestions for improvements. Generally speaking, people wanted to return to in-person meetings. We totally get that. Obviously, we have now gone to the hybrid meetings, rethinking fundraising and how we raise funds for the foundation. Obviously, that's a work in progress with the amazing event coming up that Marga described, as well as a whole committee focused on fundraising. So good stuff there. Next slide. I mentioned about social media. I love this because you see everything going in an upward trajectory. Instagram, there was no Instagram account. If you go back to July, we don't have data showing here, but it would have been 0. And we just crested 1,000 followers on Instagram. But you can see Facebook, LinkedIn, the number of followers going up tremendously. What I don't show here, because I don't want to show all the data, is all of the interactions and likes and clicks and so forth. Those are also on an upward trend. They tend to increase when we have a really amazing speaker. They tend to increase when everybody here in the audience shares on social media with their followers. That makes a huge impact. It really does. And you get more eyes. I mean, we can measure it. We get more eyes seeing our posts. So please make sure you continue to do that. And post photos. People love, we find that pics in the posts, especially Rotarians in action, they tend to generate some of the most attention on social media. The other thing we're tracking, next slide please, is both membership and the percent of our members who are volunteering for hands-on service, since that's what we overwhelmingly heard in the strategic plan. So let me talk about the bottom one first. So on the left is what we managed to hit last year. We were aiming for 35% of our membership to participate in at least one volunteer event. Many people participated in dozens. We ended up hitting 29. Not bad. This year, we're at about 12% of our membership. So when some of the projects that Sarah will be talking about, I'm sure later, as those kind of come up with CPS, make sure to step up and volunteer so we can get more participation. In terms of membership, keep bringing those guests, keep bringing members, just like Matthias said. Not only does that help to balance the books, it's important to bring new ideas into the club and to create new volunteers so that we can do good in the community. Next slide, please. Next slide. I'll go through these pretty quickly. Just a reminder for anybody who's been following along at home, our mission, as described in the new strategic plan, is through our fellowship of diverse, ethical individuals, we will work together to have a transformative impact on our internal and external community. Next slide. And we do that through 5 goals: to plan and prioritize, in other words, focus on what we're doing; to implement together, I've been talking about that with all that volunteer work; to report on our success so people know what we're doing, so that's the market and communication. And through all those, the other 2 goals, we grow our membership and we have an impact in the community. Next slide, please. And we have a bunch of strategies, and I'm not going to bore you with maybe a lot of these details. The strategic plan is online, but we do track on a quarterly basis on our progress. Basically, are we implementing? Have we started implementing? Have we not implemented yet? With all of these strategies. And generally speaking, in terms of focusing in, we've done a really good job of implementing these strategies. Next slide. Despite the pandemic, we've done, I think, a really good job on getting volunteer opportunities out there. and trying to get people engaged. I think now that we're back to meeting in person, we can hit on some of these a little bit more with getting people engaged with welcoming our guests and a few other things like that, where we can assign some roles. Next slide. Again, per the strategic plan, we've got to continue beating people over the head with these are the projects we're doing. So you all know the great things and you can tell other people about the great things we're doing. And then also, you can find things that you're interested in volunteering for. So that's just something we need to continue to do. Next slide. Here, this is growing membership. So we're talking about fellowship, identifying other groups to partner with. We've done that with other community groups. We're working, thanks to Timo and Matthias, with chambers of commerce. So that's going to be stuff that we're working on, but we're going to continue working on. Next slide, please. Membership orientation. I want to thank Laura for Laura, there you are, Laura, for continuing to move that forward, and also to bring in, I believe I heard Tony McHale is joining you to help orient members. So that's really good. So we see more of these turning to green. And then finally, the last slide. It's very important to make sure that we're promoting our own members, right? There's the external community, but there's the internal community, to make sure that we're taken care of here, that we're promoting your businesses. When you have something great going on in your life, you let us know, and we can make sure to share that with club members. So when you do have something, let me know, let Cam know, let Marga know, and we'll make sure it's in the gyrator. We'll make sure to shout it from the mountaintops, because that's important for us as well. If anybody at any point wants to see any of these slides, I'm certainly happy to send them over. I know I went through them really fast. I was trying to keep on Marga's schedule here. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric, very much. So now our next speakers are going to be Wes and Sarah, or Sarah or Wes. So the floor is yours.
Okay, good afternoon. I am Sarah Buck, and I am one of the co-chairs of the Community Service Committee with my co-chair here, Wes Westerfield, and just want to give a little bit of an overview of some of the things that we have done this year. So if you recall, in case you forgot, the first half of this year was a lot of at-home stuff. And we did our Rotary Reads events, where we would Zoom in with children at schools or in other organizations, and we would read stories to them. And it was super cute. I can't think of any other adjective. We even did one in Spanish. So that was great. We also have done several events with Alita with the Meals for Seniors. And we did a river cleanup in August, where a bunch of us went out on kayaks to clean up the Chicago River. Over the summer, we funded the contest winner for the Fernando Jones Blues Music Camp. The little boy's name was Boogie Boy. And actually, a week ago, was that just a week, Eric? Yes. Gunnar and myself and Eric and Pilbin went to a blues music event for Fernando Jones, and it was amazing. Like, that music was really good. So it was just a really great connection that I have made personally with Rotary. Several of us worked the Thanksgiving food giveaway a month or so ago. And then I think our shining star, if I can call it that, is our CPS grants program. So we did that for the first time, and I really want to thank the committee for really helping to get that off the ground. So we had a really robust submission the first time we did this, and we have had several projects come out of that. So just to give a few examples, we currently have a Rotarian who is a robotics coach. And we have several who are doing guest speaker gigs at STEM high school. I chaperoned for the first time in my life a field trip to the Field Museum. It was fine.
You survived.
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, they were good kids. We had several who participated in a cooking event with students. And up next, and this is brand new information. I just spoke with one of our teachers this morning. There is an event on January 20th. So I'll be getting this information to Tamra, where individuals can volunteer to be patients. And that also might require a little bit of patience on your part as well. For these high school students who are learning to be allied health professionals. And so the grant funded equipment for them to learn how to take temperature and pulse and respiration and blood pressure. And then they'll also be doing intakes as well. So we're looking for at a minimum of 6 Rotarians, perhaps any retirees who are out there or doctors who might be post-call on that day. I told the teacher that I would like to participate as well. Because the tricky part of that is it's during the school day. And so that eliminates a lot of our Rotarians. It's from 1:15 till 3. And it's in the Little Village neighborhood. So I'll get all of that information to Tamra. So is there anything that I have forgotten?
No, you could say that we've started the process on the CPS
yes.
grants.
We have, yes, thank you. So we've done another round of CPS grant submissions. This round wasn't quite as robust as the first one, but Wes and I in discussing think that maybe it was just a bad time of year to do it at the beginning of the school year. So we're gonna perhaps run another round because there's a really big interest on social media when we posted it and then not as many submissions. So I think we're gonna run another round in the spring.
We tend to think that because it's the fall and the teachers, I'm loud enough. The fall and the for the Zoom guests, okay. Because it's the fall, the teachers are very busy and it's really getting back to school after all the COVID stuff. I think that they just felt overwhelmed, I think is the right term. And when we looked at those, there were really, I don't know, what, 2 or 3 really good ones. And the rest, to my view, reflected people who don't have time to do their best job of presenting their project. I'm a long ago English teacher and I felt like getting out my red pencil and circling and making corrections because some of them were clearly written in haste. So in the spring, we'll give it another shot, see what happens.
Yeah. Great, so thank you. And I will be turning the microphone over to Alita for JobOne.
Okay, thank you, Sarah and Wes. So JobOne last year, we completed our program with 14 students that were placed from 12 different high schools throughout the city of Chicago. We gave out $17,500 in 7 awards to students, and we gave out 3 Carl Zimmerman Awards for $4,500. For those of you all who are new or may not be aware, Carl Zimmerman was a wonderful member of our club that passed away suddenly last year at the beginning of COVID. And he owned Steadfast Companies and who was one of our greatest employers, also one of our great employers. And we started a scholarship college award for any student that was interested in a STEM or technology field in his honor. We had 8 total employers in which 4 employers were reimbursed. So for our employers, we reimburse 50% for any nonprofit organization that takes an intern. We reimburse them at the end of the year. This year, we were able to have PAWS. PAWS normally does not pay interns, so one of our wonderful board members donated the additional 50% so that PAWS could take 2 students and then we reimburse them 100% so they could have students this past year. And We are just looking for more employers so that we can reach more students. We had over 200 applications last year for JobOne, in which we actually accepted almost 30 into the program. You know, they are students, so some left because of attrition or other reasons, but we want to be able to reach out to more students and get more students, and with that, we need more employers. And if you aren't able to be employers, we do have sponsorship opportunities where you can sponsor for a nonprofit of your choice to take an intern to help them take more interns, or you can sponsor maybe a small business that would love an intern but maybe can't afford it to have an intern over the summer. So thank you.
I would like to invite to the microphone Betsy and Seida from the International Services Committee.
Hello, am I close enough this time? My husband told me last time that I was way too far away and nobody could hear me. At any rate, we've had a really busy year here in the International Service Committee. We've worked on about, I think it was, the count I came up with was 27 different projects that we funded, plus we have a number of others that we're working on getting funding for and hope to get moving forward. The COVID had an interesting effect on a lot of our projects this year. One is that it slowed the implementation of some of the projects that were underway. For instance, our Senegal cervical cancer project was delayed. Of course, you can't go in and train people and then treat people in the COVID situations, particularly in the backwoods of Senegal. But it's underway now and moving forward. And then we also had a lot of clubs that were working to get COVID grants, and we ended up working on 4 different PPE grants this year, as well as 2 others for PPE and equipment to treat COVID clients. And basically, Ecuador, Bolivia, Japan of all things, and India, plus Sierra Leone and someplace else. Whatever.
I have no help.
Yeah, we had a lot of them this year. We also had a flurry of activity at the end of the Rotary year this year. And this is because Rotary International decided to change the rules on how projects were matched. I don't know if you're all aware of it, but on global grants, if you have club funds and district designated funds, they get matched to a certain degree. And unfortunately, the match on club funds went away as of the end of the Rotary year. So we were scrambling along with every other club in the world to get our projects funded and submitted so that they'd get the full match. So it's been an interesting year and a lot of work. The major focus that we've had this past year, though, has been on 6 projects in Bolivia. And these are 5 of the projects are for equipment with hospitals, where we've partnered with Solidarity Bridge, which is located up in Evanston. Our grant is to purchase the equipment for the hospitals, and Solidarity Bridge has been working on doing the actual training. They arrange and finance medical missions that come in and do the training on not only the hospital personnel, but they also help in patient selection, which when you have new equipment can be very important, but on the patient selection and then the treatment afterwards. The 6th project is for a rehab center for kids with special needs. And what we've done there is outfit the building with Montessori equipment and then train both the teachers and the parents of the kids on the Montessori methods so that they understand and can work with the kids effectively. The other main project, of course, is the Senegal project, and that's continuing. It's been, it was delayed, but now it's on board again. They're training a ton of people to go out into the field to detect and treat cervical cancer in its early stages or refer for treatment if necessary. This year, we're getting started. It's been a slow start to the year, but we're reviving our work on a Mexico cleft project, where the plan is to train 6 plastic surgeons on treating cleft palate issues and doing surgeries, as well as training some of the auxiliary personnel on treatment, dietitians, speech therapists, nursing, that kind of thing. So we hope to get that going this year. Plus, we're working on, and I'll have to remember these, great project in Guatemala to adapt agricultural techniques there to a changing climate world. It's a project that one of our sister club, one of the big 5 is doing, and it's one we're really happy to be participating in. So that's kind of what we're doing this year. One other note is Stephanie Lippian, who was co-chair with me for most of the year, managed to get her master's degree finally, and is had to step back though, because now her job is to find a job. So she has stepped back, but Shada has volunteered to work with me. So we've been doing the transition in the last couple of months, and I'm looking forward to working with her for the next year. Thank you.
Next, I would like to invite Laura to the podium, our Director of Membership.
Good afternoon, everybody. First, I'd like to say how exciting it is to see 27 people in this room. There was a time when 27 would have been a very poor attendance, but I don't think we've had 27 people in this room since June. So great job for everybody for being here today. It's very exciting. So one thing, we're currently at 142 active members, active and honorary members. For those of you who feel like, wait, didn't we used to have about 175? We did. Over the last few years, Rotary International has changed the policy on Rotaract members. So first they were a member of our club, now they're not. So that's where most of that comes in. Generally, each year we see about the same people join the club as those who depart the club. So we're kind of holding steady, but always looking to grow. So please remember to invite people you know to some of our events. And as a reminder, all of our events are open. So anyone who wants to come, register, and pay whatever the fee is for that given event, we encourage people. I always share with prospective members that I attended events for 3 months before I applied. And apparently a number of people in the club thought I was a member. I don't know, Laurie, people might start thinking you're a member because it's 3 in a row here. Just teasing. Oh, look at that. That's how you get them, everybody. And I also want to say in 2020, we had 19 new members, in large part because of our membership drive. And in 2021, we've had 10 new members. Right now, that drive is still that new members get their first 3 months of dues waived, so they don't have to pay any dues for the first 3 months. And the other part is our application fee, which used to be $350, is now only $150. So this will go on until the board decides otherwise, but it's a really good time for people to join when the rates are lower and they do have that extra bonus of a few months of non-payment. If anybody is interested in being more active in membership and doing some of the legwork, please reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you.
Laura, thank you. Thank you very much for everything you do. She's amazing. Well, now our next presenters are Mark Smith and Nita Nagubari with the PR Marketing Committee, and they're both on Zoom. So, okay, the screen is yours.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Marga. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, very well.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So can you move to the next slide, please? Thank you. Okay, so we've heard some snippets about the PR marketing updates, especially in the strategic plan that Eric gave, because as he mentioned, we've done a lot of work in the past year to establish the online digital marketing, and we're continuing to do that. And I'm really glad that he also mentioned some of the focuses. We really love to bring more life into our posts on social media, and that's about people. So we already have a lot of posts about our programs, but we definitely want to do more about our individual members. So please share your content with us. You can send it to Cam, anybody, or just reply to any of the Rotary emails, or also send it to Mark or myself, and we'd love to spotlight you and feature what you're doing as well as the project. So that's been done in the Rotary Reflections, which we invite you, if you haven't already, to submit something about yourself and your Rotary journey. And then we're also, as I mentioned, we're doing the marketing, the speaker series, and then social media updates on key events and activities, as we did several posts with JobOne, with Alita, and we're also learning more about tagging. So that's mutual tagging. So we tag the partners or any of the organizations we work with, and we hope they also will tag us. And as Eric mentioned, the more our Rotary Club is tagged, then it also helps the visibility. So we shared some of the numbers here. Each of the posts will have the numbers of likes. Of course, Eric is very likable. Also, we tagged this is a thank you to him. We had posted, that was an example, and he had 42. That's a high number for what we are seeing so far, since we are newer in ours. And that's also due to the tagging that we do too. So we also appreciate everybody that shared and continue to repost and things too. And then, thanks for posting that in the chat. And then we also have it on LinkedIn and Twitter. And so these are kind of some of the examples. And then we had some videos too. So if you have any ideas, please share that with us too. It's a living, breathing thing, the social media marketing, and more ideas, the better. Upcoming things are also about the, upcoming, we're going to feature more about the wine tasting that Marga mentioned. So we'll be doing hopefully more in that regarding the fundraising, and also about our club in general, and hopefully get new visibility and new people to join us for that too. And then basically the same information there, to keep sharing and ideas and tagging. And if anybody has questions of what that is, I know there's a lot of learning curve with social media, so let us know if you have any questions on what all this tagging means too. And then the next slide has some details, like a lot of details. So basically it's an upward trend, and which you saw with the slide that Eric showed. So I think we have also, just a high level is also, we have also started to track also the journey that people take to our homepage, and try to see how they can more easily sign up to be a member, or find out, as Laura said, of visiting. And so we're even looking at that. We can track all of that online, and donations too. And then Mark, who is actively involved also as a co-chair, I don't know if he wants to add anything too, but I think we covered most of them, but please share anything. Oh yeah, I think your mic is off, or we're on mute. Okay, that's what we thought. So that's why so I think that covers most of it. So definitely let us know of any questions or suggestions, and please send your content. Cannot stress that anymore. Thank you.
Nita, thank you so much. This is great work. And as you know, this is a living and breathing committee, so your input will make it more attractive to everybody. So now next, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the president-elect of the Rotary Club of Chicago, Timo Rybak, who is running the annual campaign.
Stay here with me.
Okay.
Greetings, everybody. First of all, I want to start off by sharing with you, I reported Eric to Rotary One. He violated the first rule, is the truth. So your career at Rotary is basically done. All right. No, in all seriousness, why am I here? Marga asked me to help out, or in my role as president-elect, to run the annual fund campaign. You guys all know what this is. I don't have to belabor that. The importance of this campaign cannot be stressed enough. The money we put in comes back to us and helps us run our projects. That's the bottom line. Now, I'm very proud that we have good participation. I've smacked the board over the head so hard, everybody's given. Some people have complained to me that I smack him too hard, but at least that's our leadership. The board has given. So now I'm turning to those who are not in leadership or on the board, who have not done so yet. I am not asking for a lot of dollars, but I would love to, at the end of the year, have everybody give. Anything from $5 to whatever amount you're comfortable with. It's very important. My personal goal is to beat her numbers from last year, and if it's only by 55 cents. So I would really encourage you to either see Marga or me to get to this goal, and I think that's it. Okay. That's great.
Oh my gosh. Yay! Well, for those of you on Zoom, so Gail just, for all of you that are on Zoom, Gail has just handed Timo her contribution for this year. Thank you, Gail.
Thank you so much. I think I'm done here with this.
Amazing. Yep.
I know who hasn't given. And I will find you. Thank you.
See, it's very friendly, but you know what you need to do. So, Gail is the chair of the Rotary One Foundation, and stay tuned for what she has to tell us.
I understand, Margaret, you're going to be my point person here. Today, first of all, I want you to notice I wore all my Rotary bling today. Not only my Chess Perry Fellow, but my Paul Harris Fellow as well. My Paul Harris pin, which I'm not sure is the most current one because they never make you give back the old one when they give you a new one. So I've got a drawer full of Paul Harris pins. And of course, my favorite Rotary One pin, which is the #1. So I think I win the prize for most bling today, except I did see someone with an awfully blingy mask. Eric's guest, oh my goodness. She ought to show that off. Okay, so the foundation has the task, the very wonderful task of maintaining the corpus, the principle, and trying to increase that principle so that we can provide money to the Rotary Club of Chicago every year to support all these wonderful projects you've heard about. And one of the ways we recognize our members who have contributed to that effort through the annual campaign or otherwise, they contribute any time of the year, don't feel like you have to be limited to the annual campaign, is we have an award called the Chess Perry Fellow for anyone who contributes $1,000 or more to the Rotary One Foundation. Wow, there he is. And I have his picture to prove it. So, what was he? Yes, so we have one new Chess Perry Fellow, and I'm going to read the names. And if you're here, great, come on up. And Margot has, I'm sorry, we don't have any bling, but we do have certificates. Okay, first one is Alita Williams, who reached for the first time this year. Thank you, Alita. Yay. Thank you.
I thought we were taking one at the end.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, okay. It'll go a lot faster if we do that.
Okay.
But she was the only one in her category, so that's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good.
Okay, now we have new Chess Perry Fellows from +1 to +4. Evan Freund is a +2. Is Evan here today?
Evan's in California.
He's in California. Good for him.
He left the club.
Are we going to send him his?
Definitely
Good for him.
will. Yes.
Laura Inds, I know you're here. You're a +3. Thank you, Laura. Nancy Kalkbrenner, is Nancy here today? No. Okay, we'll send her hers. Marshall Schmidt, I saw him on Zoom, but I know he's not here. Thank you, Marshall. Timo, I know you're here. You can get another hug.
We'll do the hugging prize later.
Okay, sounds good. Don't tell my husband. Now, Chess Perry Fellows from +5 to +17, my goodness. Colette Akawi, Colette's not here. Yes, he is. I didn't see him. How come you didn't come and say hi to me?
Came a little late.
Well, come on. Come on, Colette. +17, that's got to be a record of some type. That has to be a record. Eric Kempel, +5. Thank you, Eric. Michael Ferris, didn't see him here or on Zoom, but he might be on Zoom, I'm not sure, but we'll send it to him. Kay Fleischer, here on Zoom, I saw her name. Thank you, Kay. Do we have a representative from the Fraternité of Notre Dame? No. No, not today, but they went from +3 to +5 is what I understand. Cheryl McIntyre, thank you, +7. Suzanne Morgan, is Suzanne here? No, +7. Wes Westerfield, +6. Thank you, Wes. Appreciate it. And John Wilhelm, +11. John, I have not seen him. I've seen him in person, not for a long time, but I saw him on Zoom at our foundation meeting last month.
Okay.
Hadn't seen him for a long time, but we'll mail it to him.
We'll mail it to him.
Okay, and thank you very much, all the Chess Perry Fellows, repeated and new. Welcome to the society. Thanks. Now, do we all want the picture? We should be there too.
We don't want to miss an opportunity. No. Okay, open, show this, show up the certificate.
I'm going to show my bling.
Awesome. Thanks. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. It's been a long time. Yeah.
Well, as you know, also, we have another foundation, which is the Rotary International Foundation. And when you reach a contribution of $1,000, you become a Paul Harris Fellow. And for every $1,000 that you donate to the foundation, you will be accumulating more points. So you can be a Paul Harris +2, +3, +4, and then after you donate $10,000 to the Paul Harris, to the Rotary Foundation, you become a major donor, and the sky is the limit. So, yes, we know how to take your money, and because even when you're not here anymore, your contributions will continue to do good. So, the new Paul Harris Fellows +2, we have Eric Kempel. Thank you so much, Eric. We have Laura Inns. Thank you, Laura, so much. Laura tells everybody when you join the club, it is very important to support the foundations. So she walks the talk. Thank you. Or talks the walk. How is it? And then Ted Neville, thank you so much, Ted. Yes. Thank you very much. And again, Timo Ribok. Oh, here you are. Someone is preaching with example here, so keep collecting them. So thank you, all of you who have moved to the next level of giving. It is really important. I should be there, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so we have 4 minutes left. So you know what? Okay, Eric, hurry up. Let's talk about the nominating committee.
This has to take place.
Quick.
All right. Shelby, if you could just put up the slide, we'll just get right down to business here then, shall we? So I'm the chair of the nominating committee as immediate past president. And for those who've been following along at home, you may recall that back in early September, I began asking verbally at meetings and via the gyrator for any recommended nominations for directors and officers for the club so that the nominating committee could begin its work. So based on those recommendations and pursuant to the bylaws of the Rotary Club of Chicago, the nominating committee presented its proposed slate 30 to 60 days prior to the annual meeting. That slate is as shown on the screen. And I announced that slate on November 9th, and it was also published in the gyrator on that date. Also pursuant to the bylaws, after that date, additional nominations for any office were eligible for submission in writing by any active member, and to be considered, additional nominations had to be submitted by Tuesday, November 23rd at 11:59 p.m. No additional nominations were received. So therefore, the slate, and I will quickly read off the slate because I think it's important that everybody be recognized. We have continuing their terms as directors, and if you can wait till the end, maybe to applaud so we can do this faster. But continuing their current term, we have Betsy, Neetha, Ted, and Mark. We have going into a second term as director, Laura and Hervé. We have two new directors, Chuck and Wayman. We have Matthias continuing as treasurer. Michelle Stewart has very kindly stepped up from director to become secretary. Of course, as he mentioned, we know that Timo is going to be our new president, Alita Williams, our president-elect, and then, of course, our new president-elect nominee is Sarah Buck. So now you can give a round of applause. And to make it official, therefore, by the power vested in me by the Rotary Club of Chicago, state of Illinois, and probably some other stuff, the candidates as shown in the slate are heretofore deemed elected.
I scared you, huh?
I scared myself too. Okay. Well, we have about no seconds left. So you can stay, you can leave. People in Zoom, you can continue sitting in your chairs. But, I would will you forgive me if I take an extra 5 minutes of your time? But, okay, thank you so much. I would like to say a few things about so many members that are having, and they are so wonderful. Eric, thank you, great work with the strategic plan. It is amazing, and you helped set the club on such a smooth road that, the sky is the limit for what we want to do. But I would like to mention Alita, the multitasker, the woman who wears multiple hats that does not hesitate to give you the extra hand or the extra hug when it is needed. Thank you. Betsy, my friend, the backbone of the International Services Committee. Many late night phone calls and many good laughs, but we're doing amazing work, and this would not happen if it weren't for you. Steph, if she's online, I hope so. Steph is the queen of colorful formatting for our presentations for our global grants. She dove into the ISC with passion, and we now want her with the same passion to find a job in Chicago so she comes back in person. Okay, the interesting thing about Steph, we're great friends. She's been a member of the club for over a year, and we never met in person. Okay, Seda, our rising star. Seda, I am so happy that you chose to pour your beautiful energy and your spirit of service to our club. And it's been so good to see you at service projects, not only you, but your husband and your son. And we are so happy that you are such a good part of our family. And thank you again for taking the leadership position at the ISC together with Betsy. Sarah, a bundle of energy and sparkly and good humor. My gosh, the work is that you're doing with CPS and the committee is great, and I am really looking forward to your year as club president. Nita and Mark, you're taking us to places where we've never been before in social media. So kudos to you, and thank you for teaching us about how social media works and inviting all of us to help you. Walter, Jody, Ted, Pancho, and Bob Finney, who come in person to our meetings 99.99% of the times, Your steady presence is so comforting, because when I see you, I feel, oh, we're back to normal because they are here. So, but really thank you for your kindness, for everything you do and you have done for the club. And Brian, thank you. You're doing an amazing work with, connecting us with a Zoom sphere. And we are very, very grateful. So to you. And last but not least, to our servers, who are maybe on the other side of the door, who keep us so well taken care of. The coffee's always running, and I would like to recognize them, because we are grateful. They have been looking after us for several years in the big room or in this room. So, muchas gracias, señores. Okay, and now, we don't have time to introduce our guest, but I see somebody has come from Germany. And who's also here from Barcelona? Mark Nabong, who moved to Barcelona 6-7 weeks ago, and he's getting settled there. So I hope we hear from him through emails. We've been connected. Oh, there he's greeting us. So, Mark, it's so good to see you here. And what I have to do now, since it is 1:24, the drill every week, look at the gyrator for the committee meetings. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but what I want to tell you is that we have on December 16th, a really cool event that we would love to have you there. I think, Timo, there is space for 20 guests at the Christmas market in Daily Plaza. So come join us, because there's going to be beer, Glühwein, a happy, jolly German celebration for our holidays. On the 17th, on Friday, we have the Friday Roundtable. And there's not going to be a round table for the last 2 weeks in December, nor meetings for the next 2 weeks. So, stay home, all right? And again, I told you this, if you like wine, we're going to offer also non-alcoholic drinks, but put in the back of your mind that you have to tell your friends about the Argentine wine tasting that is going to take place in February. It is going to be a great party. And with this, let's see what I have forgotten. Well, you know what? I want to wish all of you a beautiful holiday season. May you celebrate everything that you celebrate and your friends being. When Hanukkah has just finished, I hope you had a happy one. Kwanzaa, Christmas, St. Lucia, well, St. Nicholas happened already. But you know what? Be joyful and not with temporary or superficial things, but the joy that comes from within, because that is what is going to carry all of us together with the work that we do in Rotary. So God bless you all. Let's read the 4-way test all together here in the room. All right, and quickly, because we're running out of time. So everybody stand up in this room and we go. Let's read the 4-way test for the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill, better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Will it be fun? Yeah? Okay, all right. Happy holidays, and thank you for everything.